Alright, so when we last left off, we were about to go talk to some more refugees from somewhere other than Doma. I think these ones are from Ul'dah. We'll find out. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. 12 be praised! It is you! We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know naught of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms, any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. They knew we had to run. The only question was where. And then it came to me. Revenant's toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So you'd surely do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity, and so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word, Tataru says from off-screen. Tataru, is aught amiss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphino has been wounded. What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. Seven hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please. If you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady? We are not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphino, and quickly. If he is in danger, or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalimo will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Asuka. Oh, we'd better hurry to Ul'dah then. This is rather chipper music for dire circumstances. I mean, it's just the standard Ul'dah music.
You don't look wounded.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over.
Dun dun dun.
Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life.
It doesn't sound like any country we know.
To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Domans asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
This bodes ill. Desperate Times, this quest is called. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur, given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of the Flames. I would hear what General Rauban has to say upon the matter. Yeah, let's go see what he has to say. Let me up. Dang it. I thought I could jump over the railing. Rauban.
Now is not a good time, Oscar. My hands are full dealing with the refugees.
Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General.
Alphino, back on your feet already?
You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation?
Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive.
I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that tensions between the Uldan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the immortal flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors.
Come to the point.
Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and
now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning soon.
or anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Asuka. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at a request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? We shall. Where's Commander Swift? There he is. Hello, Swift.
You look as though you have something to say, Asuka. Do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than a regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there.
Okay, where is Lost Hope? Over there, by Blackbrush. What animal will we fly on? Ooh. This is the horse from Leviathan. Leofric.
A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka, he will explain everything.
And what about you, Amelberga?
And what brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well, then you've come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees. Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation, and are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that. Like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go.
Alright, let's go find this Zazawaka. Looks like he's back here in the cave. You there. Are you Zazawaka?
Ah, don't hurt me! I'm not one of them! I beg your pardon? You're not a flame? I see. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. 'Twill be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, of holding the ruling class to account, taking that which is owed. Ha! A childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent, and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does.
Behind the tent. Hello, terrified refugee.
What are you doing? Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Don't draw! Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together, and then you'd be here with me. I'd be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone?
We have to soothe him now, because it said soothe in orange in the dialogue. Soothe. It's okay.
Well, who are you? What do you want? It's true. I followed the merchant, and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But the flames found us. We didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but then they started arguing and then fighting, and then everyone was fighting, and the flames were shouting to give no quarter, and oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was.
Well, let's stop them with this quest called Shock and Awe.
The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. Why, the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though, if they were forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot.
Okay. How far do we have to go? Quite a ways. We're going up on a mount. I see you.
7 hells, they've found us! Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. So that's your game, is it? Aha! Sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves.
I don't think so. There's another one of you. There you are. Stop it. This isn't gonna end well for you. You beat him like it was nothing. Thal Almighty, what are we gonna do now? You're gonna... I don't know. Talk to me about this plot. While I ride in on my war elephant, like Hannibal. I'm stuck on a rock. So that's why it didn't work for Hannibal. And Carthage was ultimately destroyed. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? He wasn't there. Huh? But where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others? Let's find out. Reap the whirlwind. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must we endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease this mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. It surely shall. Let's go find this merchant. So, you've seen the chocolate one. This one is the original green one that I bought at the Gold Saucer, which is like a casino within the game. Not for real money, for in-game points that you can then use to buy clothes and weapons and mounts and hairstyles, things like that. Uh-oh, a crying child. That's not good. Have you seen my parents? No, I just got here. They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were going to change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. I didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? I'm looking for the merchant. You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look, over there. I think that's him. Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next victim? You! He's getting away! Get him, miss! Oh yeah, we're gonna. Okay, so this big turtle, which matches that one back there, when it flies, does this. Found you. You again? Why are you pursuing me? Did you arm some refugees? Sedition, treason, revolution. That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorized the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of the Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let us say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a kick-cairn's ass about politics? It was business, only business. Just you and me. We both know I am not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Okay. Uh-oh. Well, shit. What is all this commotion? 7 hells! Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. What say you, Stone Torch? Hold, adventurer! I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. Well, see, I was just talking to him. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. Hall of the Flames is where we're going now. Back in the city. Don't you love it when your only witness gets murdered? Right in front of you. So, you might notice Skywatchers throughout the game in different places. If you talk to them... Oh, I can't do it in New Game Plus. If you talk to them, they'll tell you what the weather is like in other places in the map. What news, Oscar? Where's the merchant? He's dead. Murdered? Damn it all to the 7th hell. He was not simply murdered, Oscar. He was silenced. Too many knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you think. Revolution. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you return. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alfido has already been informed and should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. I will. Back to the big ol' Aetheryte, because we're not walking there. Another bit of side note, if you see that little leaf symbol next to someone's name that you see on these couple of people, that is what is called a sprout, and a sprout is someone who has not made it to Endwalker yet. They're a new player. You have to make it to Endwalker and have a certain amount of time played. I don't remember exactly how much time you have to have played, but a significant amount. We've been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside. Okay.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Thank you.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters.
Oh, where have we seen that before?
It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations.
This is also the explanation for the player versus player like battle zones. They're all related to this. Essentially, a group of players from, I think you need, for this particular version that they're talking about, 72 total players in groups of 24, representing each of the 3 grand companies, fight for 20 minutes, and the winner gets, and everybody gets some amount of reward out of it. The winner obviously gets more.
In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean Alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Carlians did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Dun dun dun. What have you for me, Alphino? Stories we tell? I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Captain Hassenpfeffer. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartano.
Begone, whelp, this is no place for children,
Someone says from off screen. Oh, it's the kid from the refugee town. I'm sorry. I I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? Yep, met her outside. So he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I am afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there? We require but a moment. Okay, mister. I'll be waiting. I'll take it to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans and ether-starved primal. Even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources. And ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Asuka, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Twelveswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. I gotta go. Something about the Twelveswood. The Twelveswood? Then the primal threat you spoke of before has been confirmed? I have received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Oscar. You know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. Alright, let us go to the Rising Stones. These two, Sophie and Radovan, are the characters who teach you how to be a gunbreaker. They wind up here after all the gunbreaker quests are finished. Hi, Tataru. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Asuka. The latest news from Uldar was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Elfino suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. I am ready. Lord of Levin. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramu. I'm sorry. May have? Then it is not certain. The Elder Seedseer informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Leven's return to the forest. The Sylphlands, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the Touched Ones and their movements? If preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, 'twould surely have not escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon. You foresaw this eventuality and did not prevent it? I told Pepalimo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once, right after the calamity, but that was because the Garleans came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castramorian stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity on hand. In short, Ida and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy, had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Uldar drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panic migration as yet another invasion, and quickened their efforts to summon their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. Asuka, through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Ramu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Asuka. Pray report to Commander Hilloy at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Okay. Steel yourself for the worst. While people hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leven will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. Yes. Let's go see Commander Hilloy then. In New Gridania. Which is literally right next to Old Gridania. They're like the same city. It'd be like calling the oldest parts of Detroit Old Detroit, and the rest of Detroit New Detroit. Hello, Commander Hilloy. Captain Hossenpfeffer, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of none more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, I would have you do so without delay. The Elder Seer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic, rather than martial skills, may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Nofika's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the lotus stand. Alright then. Hello, conjurer in attendance. Can I go in? Thank you.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelveswood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelveswood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
Okie doke.
You have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelveswood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Alright. Let's go to Little Solace. Hello, Serpent Lieutenant. Captain Hosselfeather, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat with the Primal Ramu himself, an unenviable task, but one for which I have no doubt you are well suited. I have been told that your fellow scions are conducting an investigation of the area as we speak, that we might ascertain the location where the Lord of Leven might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. Okay. Leven an impression. I was told that a messenger would be sent as soon as your fellow scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer. This one returns, and returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the Touched Ones summoned Lord Ramu. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good woman to her fellow scions? It would be this one's pleasure, Walking One. Please, please, come with this one. Okay. Oh, we gotta go pretty far in there. Wise ones have ventured deep, deep within the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for Touched Ones. They did go deep in there. Everything gets purple the further in you go. Oh, flew past him. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramu, and this one may turn mean and nasty like Touched Ones. And so this one must say farewell for now. Walking One will find wise ones not far from here, to the south. Go in safety, Walking One. So, it's actually you. I am relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear, with them wreaking havoc with their skin-changing magics, it's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on Y'shtola's face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Papalimo. Ahem, my apologies. It's not like me to ramble, so... At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and am pleased to say I have reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetherite. Come, Asuka, the Lord of Leven awaits. Oh, a cutscene.
Minora betrays thee, servant of Hyden.
Now that is a beard.
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu, guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
We just want to make sure you're not going to kill everyone.
Redanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking?
Yes.
Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. But they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal. Shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramu, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Sure, why not? Well, that seems like a good place for a nice cliffhanger-y ending. We will go fight Ramu in the next episode.